Hello YouTube, this is BUB'S Comics coming at you with a quick tag response video. Thank you JPLFLASH Comics Geekdom for tagging me in this video. It's going to be a real short one because I'm going to be late for work. So bottom line is he's wanting to know, he was tagged as well, and he was wanting to know what our first comic book was that we ever bought and read. So I have to go back to the early 90s in my childhood to where I was in a comic shop. So there was a restaurant called Uno's Pizzeria. They still exist. They're not as prevalent as they were back then, I reckon, but they still exist. I'm originally from New York City. There was an area near me called Grand Central Boulevard, and it had a comic shop. It's the first comic shop I'd ever been in, and I normally collected trading cards. These Wolverine From Then Till Now Volume 2. We'll have some more videos coming up on them shortly. I've been working on a little project. So then that's what I normally collected, but I saw this book and it just looked freaking fantastic and I couldn't pass it up. It has a wraparound cover. And this is, you know, I read the book. I bought it. Well, my mom probably got it for me. And I read thanks mom, shout out to the moms out there. And I read the book, and I absolutely fell in love, and I thought it was amazing. And I think in this issue, kind of Wolverine, he sends a claw through Sabretooth's head. So it's Wolverine number 90. He sends a claw through Sabretooth's head. So I thought he killed Sabretooth because I never got 91, and I didn't have 89. So I had no idea what the story was about, really. I was just taking a shot at it. Thought it was freaking awesome. And so I always thought, you know, for a long time, how lucky I was because I had bought the one comic where Wolverine kills Sabretooth. So didn't know it was going to be an ongoing thing between them. So to me, this comic was super valuable, and there was no internet or anything back then. So I was just guessing my way through it all. And then, so that's the first comic I ever bought and read. So that was back in the day. So if you fast forward to more recently when I started getting into collecting comics again, I had picked up Wolverine number 1, the limited series. There that is. And basically what happened with that was, I've told this story a few times already, but basically I sold some stuff to a comic shop. I had negotiated a deal where I could walk out with any one comic that I wanted, and this is the one that I picked. And the whole reason that I went in there to make a deal and to sell stuff was because I intended to make that deal and walk out with this comic, one way or the other. So very happy to have that one. Since then I've got another copy or so, but and I read it, and it was, to me, you know, I had a short series, so I had just read that one. It was the only one I had. So at that time I only had like 2 comics to my name, so this was the second comic I owned and read. Then the same the same LCS had Facebook had put out an advertisement on Facebook saying that they had an almost complete set of the first 30 issues of Wolverine, and it was only missing maybe like number 10, his first Sabretooth appearance in Wolverine title, and a few others, very few others. So it had almost a complete set of 1 through 30, and they wanted $50. And you know, it was at a time when the shop had just changed ownership, and they were looking to kind of liquidate the stock that they had inherited in order to get some cash flow going. So I understood that, you know, being a little bit in business here and there. I said, I get that, so I'll go ahead and go down there. And actually, I think they wanted 75, and I worked them. Yeah, that's right. They wanted 75, and I worked them down to 50, and bought it. So this comic here, Wolverine number 1, that was really the first start of a run or a story arc that I read and continued. So I picked this one up, of course, and he had about the first, I think, 1 through 7 or 8 without any gaps. So that's what got me hooked on the whole idea of basically reading a comic a day, sometimes 2 or 3, as many as I could fit in. And that's kind of what got me started on really collecting and reading comics, would have been this comic right here. And then the very next convention that I went to, I picked up the ones I was missing from 1 to 50. There are a couple of light keys in there, like, you know, Wolverine number 10, so I picked that up. And then I had also found the other 3 for the limited series, so I went back and read those again and then reread these. So anyway, so that's the first, really the first 3 comics. So this is the first comic I ever owned and read. This is the comic that got me started back into collecting, and this is the comic that got me started reading on a regular basis. So there you go. I hope y'all enjoyed that. Let's see, he tagged 2 people, so I will tag Lindsay's Geeked Out Knickknacks, because I think it would be interesting to see her do a video where she doesn't have a chance of winning anything. And let's see, we'll go ahead and tag Comics Addiction. And see, because he's got an interesting collection, so I'm wondering kind of where he got started on that. So I'll go ahead and tag Comics Addiction. So thank you all, and happy reading. And when you get done tagging people and running around the schoolyard like a bunch of idiots, read a comic book. Thanks. Bye.